Close your eyes for a moment. Just breathe. Breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, I want you to release every doubt, every fear, every old story you have been carrying about money, about worthiness, about what is and is not possible for you. Release it all, because what you are about to hear is not just a speech. It is not just a collection of beautiful words strung together to make you feel good for an hour. What you are about to receive is a set of timeless, eternal, spiritual laws that govern the universe, laws that have always been in operation whether you knew about them or not, and today, you are going to learn how to use them deliberately, consciously, and powerfully to call abundance, wealth, prosperity, and richness into every single area of your life. Florence Scovel Shinn was one of the most remarkable spiritual teachers who ever lived. She walked this earth in the late 19th and early 20th century, and she understood something that most people spend their entire lives missing. She understood that life is not happening to you. Life is happening through you, and it is responding to you. The universe is not indifferent. It is not cold. It is not silent. It is alive, it is intelligent, it is responsive, and it is extraordinarily generous. The only reason people do not live in that generosity is because they do not know how to receive it. They do not know how to speak the language of abundance. They do not know that their words are wands, that their thoughts are seeds, that their faith is a force more powerful than any circumstance, any obstacle, any limitation that has ever appeared in their outer world. Today, that changes. Today, you begin to understand the game. And once you understand the game, you can never be poor again, not in spirit, not in mind, and certainly not in your material life. Let us begin. The first principle is this: your word is your wand. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote those exact words, and she meant them with every fiber of her being. She understood that human beings are the only creatures on this earth given the power of the spoken word in its full divine capacity. Every word you speak is a declaration. Every sentence you utter is an instruction to the universe. When you say, "I am broke," the universe hears you and says, "Understood, I will make that your experience." When you say, "I never have enough," the universe hears you and conspires to fulfill that prophecy. When you say, "Money is hard to come by," the universe agrees with you and works overtime to keep money hard to come by in your life. But here is the miracle, here is the breathtaking, life-changing truth. The exact same law that has been working against you can begin working for you the moment you change your words. The moment you open your mouth and say, "I am a magnet for abundance. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. I am richly and divinely supplied from an infinite source," the universe hears those words too, and it reorganizes itself around them. It moves people, circumstances, opportunities, ideas, and resources toward you in ways that will seem like magic, but are in fact the perfect, reliable operation of spiritual law. So right now, I want you to say these words. Say them out loud if you can, or say them boldly in the chambers of your heart. Say, "I am open and receptive to all the wealth that life has to offer. Unlimited abundance is my divine birthright, and I claim it now." Feel the weight of those words. Feel the power in them. Your word is your wand. Use it wisely. Use it boldly. Use it consistently, and watch your world transform. The second principle is this: there is a divine design for your life, and that design includes abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that each one of us has what she called a divine design, a perfect pattern that exists in the mind of God, in the mind of the universe, for our lives. And that pattern does not include lack. It does not include struggle. It does not include poverty and suffering and barely getting by. The divine design for every human life includes more than enough. It includes richness in health, in love, in joy, in purpose, and yes, in money. The problem is not that the universe forgot to include you in its abundance. The problem is that most people are living according to a human design rather than a divine design. The human design is shaped by fear, by habit, by what your parents believed, by what your culture told you, by the wounds of your past, and by the limitations of your senses. The divine design is shaped by infinite possibility, by love, by wisdom, by a generosity so vast that your human mind cannot fully comprehend it. When you align yourself with the divine design, when you dare to believe that there is a perfect plan for your prosperity, doors begin to open. The right people find you, the right opportunities materialize. The right ideas come to you in the middle of the night, in the shower, in that quiet moment between sleeping and waking. This is not coincidence. This is divine design working itself out through the channels of your faith. Say these words: "Divine wisdom guides me to my perfect path of prosperity. I trust that the universe has a magnificent plan for my financial abundance, and I follow that plan with joy and confidence." The third principle is the principle of faith. Not the shallow, fragile faith that says, "I'll believe it when I see it," but the deep, unshakable, mountain-moving faith that says, "I believe it now, before I see it. And because I believe it, I will see it." Florence Scovel Shinn was absolutely clear on this point. She said that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That is not poetry, that is physics. That is the mechanics of how reality is constructed. You see, the visible world, the world you can touch and taste and measure, is actually the last place where reality shows up. Reality begins in the invisible. It begins in thought, in feeling, in belief, in word, in expectation. The visible world is simply the invisible world made manifest, which means that if you want to change what you see, you must first change what you believe. You must first change the invisible world you are carrying around inside you. Faith is not about being naive. Faith is not about ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect when it is not. Faith is about knowing with a certainty that goes beyond logic, beyond reason, beyond what your eyes can confirm, that the universe is fundamentally, unconditionally, completely on your side, that it is working for your highest good at every moment, that every so-called setback is actually a setup, that every closed door is protecting you from what was not right for you and redirecting you toward what is better than you could have imagined. When you operate from that kind of faith, you become unstoppable, not because you are never challenged, but because challenges cannot break you. They cannot shake you from your knowing. And that unshakable knowing is what the universe responds to with unshakable abundance. Say these words with conviction: "My faith is my fortune. I have unwavering faith in the infinite abundance of the universe and its desire to bless me beyond measure. I know that my good is already mine, and I claim it now with full and complete faith." The fourth principle is this: giving opens the door to receiving. This is one of the most misunderstood principles in all of metaphysical teaching, and yet it is one of the most powerful. Florence Scovel Shinn understood that the universe operates on a law of circulation. Energy must move, money must flow, love must be given and received in an endless, joyful current. When you give freely, generously, and with love, you activate that current. You put yourself in the flow of abundance, and what you give returns to you multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, running over. This does not mean you give from a place of depletion and then wait desperately for something to come back. That is not true giving. That is bargaining. True giving comes from a consciousness of abundance. It comes from the deep knowing that you are already overflowing, that the source of your supply is infinite, and that what you give away from your overflow makes space for even more to pour in. When you give a compliment freely, when you give your time with love, when you give your money with joy without strings, without resentment, without secretly keeping score, you are telling the universe, "I operate from overflow, not from lack. I am in the flow." And the universe, which always seeks to mirror your inner state back to you, says, "Yes, you are," and floods your life with more. This is why generous people tend to attract more. Not because the universe rewards niceness, but because generosity is a vibration. and that vibration is perfectly aligned with abundance. Stinginess, on the other hand, clutching, hoarding, calculating every cent from a place of fear, sends the opposite signal. It says, there is not enough, and the universe, which is merely responding to your consciousness, confirms that belief in your experience. Say these words now: I give freely and joyfully, knowing that I cannot outgive the universe. Every seed of generosity I plant returns to me multiplied and magnified. I am a channel for divine abundance, and I release my gifts with a full and open heart. The fifth principle is the principle of non-resistance. Florence Scovel Shinn spoke extensively about non-resistance, and it is perhaps one of the most counterintuitive teachings for Western minds trained to fight, to push, to force outcomes into existence. She taught that what you resist persists, that fighting against what you do not want actually gives it more power, that the most powerful stance you can take in the face of any challenge is not aggression, but surrender, not the surrender of weakness, but the surrender of trust. When a financial crisis appears, the natural human reaction is panic. The mind starts spinning, the body contracts with fear, and every thought, every action, every word comes from a place of desperate, frantic resistance. This cannot be happening. I have to fix this. I have to fight this. This is terrible. This is a disaster. And in that state of resistance, the problem grows bigger. The walls close in faster. The solutions become harder to see. But the person who has learned non-resistance looks at the same crisis and says, I release my grip on this. I trust the process. I know that this situation is working out for my highest good. I am guided to the perfect solution, and I move with confidence and peace toward that solution. And from that state of peace, from that state of openness and non-resistance, the answers come. The doors open, the people appear, the way through becomes clear. Non-resistance does not mean passivity. You still act, you still move, you still do what is yours to do. But you act from faith, not from fear. You move from trust, not from panic. And actions taken from a place of trust are infinitely more effective than actions taken from a place of terror. Say these words: I release all resistance and allow my good to flow to me freely. I trust the perfect timing and perfect unfolding of my financial abundance. Everything is working out perfectly for me, and I move through life with ease and grace. The sixth principle is this: intuition is your greatest financial advisor. Florence Scovel Shinn called intuition the still small voice, the quiet, calm, unhurried wisdom that lives beneath the noise of the mind and speaks when you are still enough to listen. In a world obsessed with data, analysis, expert opinions, and market projections, she dared to say that the most reliable financial guidance you will ever receive will not come from a spreadsheet. It will come from that quiet knowing within you. How many times have you had a feeling about something, a business opportunity, an investment, a relationship, a path, and your gut said one thing while your head said another? And how many times did you override your gut and follow the logical choice only to regret it? The intuition is not irrational. The intuition is connected to a level of intelligence so vast, so comprehensive, and so beneficent that the rational mind cannot begin to compete with it. When you learn to trust your intuition in financial matters, when you learn to get quiet, to ask the divine for guidance, and then to listen and obey the answers that come, you gain access to a form of intelligence that operates beyond the limitations of what you know, what you have experienced, and what is currently visible in the physical world. Your intuition can guide you to the right investment before the market confirms it. Your intuition can tell you when a deal is not right before the red flags show up in the paperwork. Your intuition is always several steps ahead of your eyes. Cultivate silence, meditate, pray, walk in nature, create space in your life for the still small voice to speak. And when it speaks, Act immediately, without second-guessing, without asking 6 people for their opinions, without waiting for external confirmation. Act from the inner knowing, and watch as the universe confirms that knowing in the most beautiful and unexpected ways. Say these words: I am divinely guided in all my financial decisions. My intuition is sharp, clear, and reliable. I trust the inner wisdom that speaks to me, and I act on it with confidence and joy. The 7th principle is the power of the spoken decree. Florence Scovel Shinn used affirmations and spoken decrees with a boldness and a specificity that was revolutionary for her time and remains powerful today. She understood that vague desires produce vague results. She understood that when you want something specific, you must ask for it specifically, boldly, and with the complete expectation of receiving it. She spoke of the power of making demands on the universe, not demanding from a place of ego or entitlement, but demanding from a place of divine right. From the knowing that because God, the universe, the infinite intelligence, is the source of all supply, and because you are an expression of that divinity, you have every right to claim your good. You have every right to stand before the universe and say, "This is what I am calling forth. This is what I know is mine. And I claim it now, in the name of the highest and best, for the blessing of all concerned." This specificity matters because it focuses your creative power. A scattered mind with scattered desires produces scattered results. But a focused mind, with a clear, specific, lovingly held vision, is like a laser. It cuts through the fog of confusion and points directly at the target. The universe can then begin to organize itself around that clear signal. Write down what you want. Be specific. Not, "I want more money," but, "I am so grateful and happy now that I am earning this specific amount per month, doing work that I love, serving people with excellence, and enjoying the full richness of my life." Speak it, decree it, own it, and hold it in the highest, most loving vibration you can. Say these words: I now call forth my perfect right income, arriving in perfect ways, from perfect sources, at the perfect time. I name my good, I claim my good, and I give thanks for my good now, before it appears in physical form. The 8th principle is gratitude. Radical, extravagant, abundant gratitude. Florence Scovel Shinn spoke of gratitude not as a polite gesture, but as a dynamic force, a creative power, a magnet for more. She taught that when you are genuinely, deeply, continuously grateful for what you already have, you send a signal of abundance to the universe. And the universe responds by giving you more things to be grateful for. This is not just metaphysical theory. This is measurable, observable truth. People who live in gratitude are happier, healthier, more creative, more resilient, and more attractive to opportunities than people who live in complaint and resentment. Why? Because gratitude says, there is enough, I am enough. Life is good, and it is getting better. And when that is your dominant consciousness, when that is the lens through which you view your life, the world rearranges itself to confirm it. But gratitude must be genuine. The universe is not fooled by mechanical repetition of thank you, thank you, thank you, while your heart is secretly seething with frustration and lack. True gratitude is felt in the body. It is warm, it is open. It is a kind of wonder, a genuine amazement that life has given you so much, that the sun rose again this morning, that your heart is beating, that there is food on your table, that you have the capacity to dream and to desire and to create. Start where you are. Be grateful for the small things, the cup of tea, the laughter, the roof over your head, the air in your lungs. And as you cultivate that gratitude, it grows, it expands. It becomes a powerful, sustaining force that draws more and more beauty, abundance, and miracle into your life. Say these words: I am grateful for every blessing in my life, large and small. I am grateful for the abundance I have now, and the greater abundance that is on its way to me. Gratitude is my natural state, and it opens every door of prosperity for me. The ninth principle is the principle of divine timing. Florence Scovel Shinn understood that the universe has its own schedule, and that schedule is always perfect, even when it does not match our human impatience. She taught that there is no loss in divine mind, that nothing you are meant to have can pass you by, and that what is rightfully yours will arrive at exactly the right moment, in exactly the right form, under exactly the right circumstances. This is one of the most liberating teachings imaginable, because it means you can stop grasping. You can stop white-knuckling your dreams. You can stop measuring the distance between where you are and where you want to be with an anxiety-drenched ruler. Instead, you can relax into the knowing that the universe is already preparing your good, already organizing the people, the circumstances, the synchronicities, the opportunities that will bring it to you. And your job is not to force the timing. Your job is to stay in faith, stay in alignment, stay in action, and stay open to receive when the time is right. This does not mean complacency. You still plant seeds, you still water them, you still work, learn, grow, and prepare. But you do all of this without desperation, without the crushing weight of, "It should have happened by now," because divine timing is never late. It may not be on your schedule, but it is always on the universe's schedule. And the universe's schedule is always, always, always in your favor. Say these words: I release my need to control the timing of my blessings. I trust that my good is coming to me at exactly the right moment. What is mine by divine right cannot be lost or delayed, and I receive it with patience, gratitude, and full expectation. The 10th principle is the principle of imagination. Florence Scovel Shinn, building on her deep spiritual understanding, knew that the imagination is far more than a playground for daydreamers. She knew that imagination is the workshop of creation, that the images you hold in your mind with feeling, with consistency, and with conviction are the blueprints from which your life is built. When you imagine yourself in prosperity, when you feel what it feels like to have your bills paid with ease, to have money in the bank, to be able to give generously, to live in a beautiful home, to travel freely, to work at something you love, you are not escaping reality. You are creating reality. You are drawing the blueprint in the invisible world, and the visible world must eventually catch up with it. This is why visualization practices are so powerful. Not because imagining something is the same as doing the work, but because consistent, emotionally charged visualization trains your subconscious mind to recognize opportunities that align with your vision. It calibrates your inner GPS. It sends a clear, repeated signal to the universe about what you are expecting, what you are preparing for, what you are ready to receive. Do not let your imagination be captured by fear. Do not allow the worst-case scenario to live rent-free in the theater of your mind. Evict it. Replace it deliberately with the vision of what you want. Paint that picture in vivid, joyful, grateful detail. Visit it every morning, every evening, every quiet moment. Make it so real in your inner world that the outer world has no choice but to catch up. Say these words: My imagination is a powerful creative tool. I use it boldly and joyfully to construct my vision of abundance and prosperity. The images I hold in my mind with love and faith are already becoming my reality. The 11th principle is this: you must prepare for your prosperity. Florence Scovel Shinn spoke often about the importance of preparing your consciousness and your circumstances for the abundance that is on its way. She said, you must make room for your good. You must act as if it is already on the way. You must prepare the soil before the seed will grow. What does this look like in practical terms? It looks like organizing your finances, even when they are small, with the care and attention you would give to great wealth. It looks like maintaining your home and your workspace with pride and intention, even if what you have right now is modest, because prosperity gravitates toward those who honor what they already have. It looks like learning the skills, developing the mindset, making the connections, and taking the actions that align with the level of abundance you are claiming. When you act when you carry yourself with the confidence of someone who is already prosperous, when you speak about money with ease and abundance rather than fear and scarcity, when you begin moving in the direction of your desired life, even before you can see how it will all work out, you are not pretending. You are demonstrating faith. You are showing the universe that you are serious, that you are ready, that you have prepared the inner and outer container for the abundance that is coming. Clear your clutter, organize your finances, open yourself to new knowledge, take inspired action every single day, prepare the ground, and then trust that the harvest will come. Say these words: I prepare myself fully to receive my abundance. I honor what I have now, and I make room for more. I take inspired, courageous action every day, knowing that I am co-creating my prosperity with the infinite universe. The 12th principle is the principle of forgiveness and releasing the past. This is one that many people skip over when they talk about wealth and abundance, and it is a catastrophic mistake. Florence Scovel Shinn understood that resentment, bitterness, grudges, and unresolved emotional debt are among the most powerful blocks to financial abundance in existence. When you hold on to anger at someone who wronged you financially, a business partner who cheated you, a parent who taught you lack, an employer who underpaid you, a client who did not pay you, are not hurting them. You are hurting yourself. That resentment is a wall. It is an energetic barrier that keeps your good from reaching you. As long as you are in a vibration of, life is unfair, people cheat me, I never get what I deserve, that is exactly the experience the universe will continue to reflect back to you. Forgiveness is not about saying what happened was acceptable. It is not about pretending the wound is not real. It is about releasing the poison from your own system so that you can move forward free, open, and whole. It is about saying, I release you from my judgment. I release this situation from my energy field. I am free, and they are free. And in that freedom, the flow of your good is restored. This applies also to forgiving yourself for the financial mistakes you have made, for the opportunities you passed up, for the money you wasted, for the chances you did not take. Stop punishing yourself with the past. It is done. It is gone. What matters is who you are now and who you are choosing to become. Forgive yourself completely and move forward with your full power restored. Say these words: I forgive everyone who has ever harmed me financially, and I release them and myself from all resentment and judgment. I am free from the past, and my good now flows to me unobstructed, joyfully, abundantly, and without delay. The 13th and final principle, the principle that binds all others together, is this: your true source of supply is infinite, and it is within you. This is perhaps the most radical, most revolutionary, most completely transformative teaching that Florence Scovel Shinn ever delivered. In a world that teaches you to depend on a job, a market, a government, a partner, an economy, or any external circumstance for your supply, she stood up and declared something almost unbelievable. Your real supply does not come from those things. Your real supply comes from God. It comes from the infinite, inexhaustible, unconditional abundance of the universe itself. And that source lives within you. This does not mean you stop working. It means you stop worrying. There is an enormous difference between working from joy and purpose and living in the inspired action of your gifts and working from desperation, from fear, from the grinding belief that if you stop pushing, if you stop fighting, if you relax for one moment, the whole thing will collapse. One is abundance consciousness, the other is poverty consciousness, wearing the costume of productivity. When you truly know in your bones, in your blood, in the quiet certainty of your heart, that you are connected to an infinite source that cannot be depleted, cannot be taken from you, cannot be blocked except by your own disbelief, then money stops being the master and becomes the servant. It stops being the thing you desperately chase and becomes the thing that naturally flows to you in response to your service, your creativity, your love, your faith, and your alignment. You are not dependent on any one person, any one company, any one stream of income, or any one circumstance for your supply. You have one source, and that source is infinite. Every job, every client, every investment, every opportunity is simply a channel through which that infinite supply flows. And when one channel closes, you do not panic, because you absolutely know that the source remains, and new channels are already opening. Say these words now, with every cell of your being lit up with the truth of them. God is my supply, and God's supply is unlimited. I am never dependent on any person, place, or condition for my abundance. I am directly connected to infinite source, and I now open myself completely to receive the full flood of my divine prosperity. Money flows to me easily. Opportunities find me effortlessly. I am richly, completely, and permanently supplied from within. And now, beloved, I want to bring all 13 of these principles together in one magnificent, sweeping affirmation. I want you to breathe it in. I want you to make it your personal declaration, your daily prayer, your unshakable constitution. Say these words with me, and mean them with every particle of your being. I am an abundant being, living in an abundant universe, connected to an infinite source that wants to bless me beyond anything I can currently imagine. My word is my wand, and I use it wisely, boldly, and joyfully to call forth my greatest good. I know that there is a divine design for my life, and that design includes overflowing prosperity in every area, financially, relationally, physically, spiritually, and creatively. My faith is unshakable. It does not waver with circumstances, because it is not based on circumstances. It is based on eternal truth. I give freely, knowing that I cannot outgive the universe. I release all resistance and allow my good to flow to me with ease. I trust my intuition as my highest financial advisor, and I follow its guidance with confidence and courage. I speak my desires as decrees, naming what I want, claiming what is mine, and giving thanks before I see the evidence. I live in radical, extravagant, flowing gratitude for all that I have and all that is coming. I trust divine timing absolutely, knowing that what is mine cannot be lost and will arrive in perfect order. I use my imagination powerfully to construct the vision of my prosperous life, and I visit that vision with love and joy every single day. I prepare my consciousness and my circumstances to receive my abundance, taking inspired action, honoring what I have, and making room for more. I forgive freely others and myself, clearing every energetic block so that my good flows unobstructed and unstoppable. And above all, I know that my true source of supply is infinite. It lives within me, and it cannot be diminished by any external circumstance, any market condition, any opinion, or any fear. I am rich. I am growing richer. I am blessed, and I am a blessing. Money loves me. Opportunities seek me out. Prosperity is my natural, permanent, divine state. And I receive it all now, with a full heart, an open mind, outstretched arms, and a soul that knows without a shadow of doubt that this is the truth of who I am. Say that every single day. Say it in the morning when you wake up and the old fears try to creep back in. Say it in the evening when you are reviewing your day and your mind wants to replay the worries. Say it in the middle of the day when circumstances challenge you and the old programming whispers that this is not working. Say it and feel it and mean it until it is no longer a practice but an identity. Until you are not someone who is trying to be abundant. Until you are someone who simply is abundant, in the deepest, most foundational, most unshakable sense of that word. Florence Scovel Shinn gave us these gifts over a century ago, and they are as alive and as powerful today as they were the first time she spoke them. She understood that the universe is not a cold and indifferent machine. It is a warm, loving, infinitely generous intelligence that is always, always saying yes to whatever you deeply believe. It always, always delivers the experiences that match your deepest convictions. So, the question is not whether the universe is abundant, it is, The question is not whether there is enough to go around. There is. The question is not whether you deserve prosperity. You do. The only question is what you are willing to believe. What story are you willing to commit to? What vision are you willing to hold? Not just when things are going well, but especially when they are not. What faith are you willing to carry? Not because you have seen the evidence yet, but because you absolutely know that the evidence is coming. Choose today. Choose abundance. Choose faith. Choose to speak your word with the confidence of someone who knows their prayers are already answered before they finish speaking them. Choose to give from overflow. Choose to see every setback as a setup. Choose to trust the timing, release the resistance, follow the intuition, prepare the way, forgive completely, imagine boldly, and return to gratitude again and again and again. You are not a victim of an economy. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not limited by your past, your background, your education, your family history, or your bank balance today. You are a divine being with a direct connection to infinite supply, and you have 13 principles in your hands right now that can unlock the floodgates of your greatest prosperity. Use them, live them, breathe them, speak them, act on them, and then stand back in wonder and gratitude as the universe, which has been waiting patiently for you to claim your good, rushes in to fill every area of your life with the richness, the beauty, the love, and the abundance that has already been yours. This is your moment. This is your time. The doors of prosperity are open. Walk through them boldly, gratefully, and with a heart so full of faith that nothing, absolutely nothing, can keep your good from you. You are ready. You are worthy. You are enough. And you are rich, richer than you know, richer than you have dared to believe, and richer still, with every breath you take, in alignment with these eternal, divine, unbreakable laws. Go now. Speak your word. Claim your good. And let the universe, that endlessly generous, infinitely loving, always responding universe, deliver to you the full, overflowing, magnificent life that was designed for you before you ever took your first breath on this earth. It is done. It is done. It is done.